Good morning traders and welcome to today's live trading. Today is the 7th of December and as usual we are on the FTSE 100. Let me quickly run you through the bands that I'm looking at today. So this is the 5-minute chart you can see here and this is the one I mark my bands on primarily. You can see we're currently in a support and resistance band just at the moment around the 7350 level. I've marked one in above around the 7370, one just above that, and then we've got one below around the 7324 level. You can see these bands sort of from a more macro view here on the hourly time frame and here on the 4-hourly time frame. You can see yesterday, this was yesterday's open hourly candle, we had a really good move up, pretty much a sustained move up all day, right into the top of really this range on the 4-hour that is sort of indicated by this band here just over the last couple of days. So with this really bullish move up, I am looking for a retest of this band really this morning. So as far as potential trade setups go for this morning, what I'd like to see is price open. It opens in 10 minutes time. I'd like to see it come down to the bottom end of this band, maybe a spike through this 200 moving average and then give us a buy signal, and I'd look to take that buy signal up to this band here and I'd look to exit at this band. So that is the trade that I'm looking at sort of immediately this morning. If that doesn't happen for whatever reason, so if price sort of shoots straight off from the open or moves straight through this band, then that's probably going to be off the table, and we'll just look at the bands as and when price gets to them for setups as and when they happen. But that's the sort of setup that I'm sort of stalking this morning. So if that does happen, I'll run you through it, and if not, I guess we'll just be waiting to see when price does give us a setup. But I'll update you a little bit later on once the market's opened. So this is the sort of thing I was looking for. I'm just bringing the ticket across here. You can see we've had this spike down and then we're getting this buy signal right from the bottom of this band. So the high of this candle is 52.6, so I want to be in at 53.7 as a buy. Submit that. So that's been accepted, just check that's right. Yep, 53.7. So if that starts moving up now, I'm going to be triggered into a long position, and like I said, the target is going to be the band above just up here. Just move that back. So you can see as far as potential resistance in the way of this trade, we've got a level there really, where it could potentially just pause for a second, even reverse maybe. So that's the area of interest as it starts coming up. If it starts coming up, that will be interesting when it gets to there, because it could obviously, I'll leave that line in actually, it could either blast straight through it, it could pause, maybe think about it, or we could have a reaction like we've had here and we could have a move down. But I like the setup. It's not been triggered yet, but if it does, I do like the potential for another move back up to this band following the price action we had yesterday. It might not necessarily break this band, but I would like to see it come and test this band, hence the trade. So I'll leave this running and we'll see how this one gets on. Okay, so we're breaking up now above this line of resistance here that we identified a little bit earlier. So you can see, really, maybe there is, if I don't maximize windows that I don't want to maximize, you can see there's probably another line just across here. This one probably isn't as strong as this one, but I would say, potentially as well, you've got a minor one there. But these are never resistance points that are going to stop me taking a trade or taking the profit off the table necessarily, because they're only minor. if this is where I expect buyers to step back into this market if they were going to do so, and they have done so, and this is really where I would expect the move to get to. Highlighting these points does one thing, and it can prepare you for moves like this. So just where you're going to get minor reactions, so when you see this, some people you could get scared out of the trade, especially early on in your trading days. You might be thinking, oh well, why is it pulling back, etc., etc. And if you've already drawn these points in, you already sort of know to expect these sort of minor pullbacks. So it sort of helps with your trading psychology as the trade progresses, really. But yeah, as always, we're looking up towards this band. So if I bring the ticket back up, I'm going to put a take profit in on this up at, I would say, 67. Pop that in there and submit that. Bring the ticket back up. I'll just move this across so you can see it a little bit better. Straighten this line up. So yeah, that's what we're looking at the moment. As I say, we're getting a minor reaction. There was some sort of medium impact news on the pound at 8:30, and it was Halifax HPI month on month. What did it come out as? It was higher than expected. 0.5 versus 0.2. But it's not a massive reaction really on the back of that. We're getting volatility has picked up a little bit. I can see this is jumping around a little bit more than it was previously, but it doesn't look to have affected the trade too much at the moment. So I would expect the price movement to carry on moving up. So I'll leave this running, and we'll see if this can make it up to our profit target. Okay, so I've just closed the trade there. It was literally just messing about here. It's really struggling to move past here. We've had this spike up. It came within literally a cat's whisker of touching the take profit. It came up, it's done exactly the same thing, and it's sold away. Rather than be messing around for literally what was, I think, 0.3 of a pip, I've just closed it there for 12 points. Really, that's the reason that I come out just before these bands, is because sometimes your plotting of these bands might not be 100% accurate, and what I mean is there, sellers might be quite eager to step in just a little bit lower than where you've plotted that particular line for that band. So to play it a little bit safe, I like to aim for just below the band. But as you can see there, we're really getting a reaction from that point. So what's the point in trying to hold for price to move past that when clearly price is showing you that it's struggling at that level? Don't, as I've done in a previous video, be a dick for a tick. Just take the profit off the table if you start seeing that, for 0.3 of a point, that's not really going to have a massive effect on your risk to reward when letting this come all the way back against you. And yeah, it might stop you out for break even, you don't lose anything, but mentally, especially if you're just starting, being up, pretty much 100% at your profit target, and then that trade coming back to break even is in your head just as bad as a loss, really, because you sort of tell yourself, well, I had the profit and I chucked it away. Even though it was unrealised at the time, obviously you didn't close the trade. But look, this again has closed on this resistance point. It is struggling somewhat to try and move past up here. Now it may do it this next candle and get into this band, great, but I just didn't want to take the risk, like I say, for 0.3 of a point. So that wraps us up for today. Like I say, it was 12 points in the end that we managed to squeeze out. It's 9:05, so we've managed that within the hour. But you can see how valuable it is to have a plan going into your trading days. Like I said this morning, I was looking for a spike down into the bottom of this band and then a buy signal, and that's exactly what we got. First thing this morning, we get this spike down that ends up being a buy signal. We get straight into the market, and it just slowly grinds its way up for the hour to really the area that we identified right before all this happened and before the market opened. So when you've got a plan, it's easier to follow it rather than sort of, I don't know, licking your finger and sticking it in the air and, judging it as it goes. That's sort of where you can start making mistakes because you don't really know what you should be doing. If you know what you're doing beforehand, that helps a lot. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do drop a like on it. It helps the videos a lot. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing. I try to do these live trade videos every week. Going into December now, the volatility might start to drop off a little bit, and we're still going through the process of moving house, which is turning out to be just a nightmare really. It's probably looking like January that I'm going to move now, so although I might have a bit more spare time in December, if the volatility drops off, then maybe I don't trade as much. We'll see. If I can do these videos, I will do them for you. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.